Hey guys, okay, this is actually my second attempt to film the 12-minute video, which my intent for right now is for this to be a tribute to Luke. The video I made yesterday about the circumstances was not what I wanted to do at the time, but I believed it was necessary, and judging from the response, it was, I hope it's the right thing to have done. I just didn't want things to spiral out of control and rumors to circulate and speculation to take hold. Being as popular as Luke was, this has generated a massive response, and it couldn't be left alone. As much as I didn't want to post anything yesterday, or it seemed necessary. So with that said, I'm gonna try to keep this positive, and like I said, more of a tribute to Luke, the man that I knew, which I'm very privileged and lucky to have known. I knew two Luke Sandoes. I believe a lot of what you guys as fans and supporters of him saw one side. And that's not to say that the other side was negative. I just want to just put into words maybe the experience I had with him, which was wild. It was crazy and fun, and to me it was like a Hollywood movie, you know. It was we were on the floor on business class to first class planes around the world, and it was, you know, I met Luke right after he got 6th place in the British finals, and he was pretty disheartened. And I remember, we didn't like each other really. He was the big guy in the gym, and I was a smaller guy that dressed. He said I dressed like a cunt, and I think that's unfair, but he's probably right, and I still dress that way, and I'm going to continue to dress that way in his memory, which he wouldn't have any other way, I'm sure. But yeah, we had a chat at the table in the gym before we were both trained, and it was more polite. We were just courteous to one another, and then my ex-girlfriend and his ex-girlfriend made us train together one time, and I guess the cliche, the rest is history, right? The memories I have of him, which a lot of them I won't ever want to share, not because they can't, because they're mine, and I hold them dearly to me. But we had some wild times and some surreal times, and I'm very honored and privileged that he saw fit to take me with him on that journey, and I can't thank him enough for that. He's somebody that is one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life, particularly towards me, because he could be a prick to other people. He was very blunt, but honest, and sometimes it wasn't appropriate, but it was always honest. And with me, he seemed to have a soft spot, and I seemed to get away with more shit and more acting like a prick and getting under his skin than he'd allow anyone else to. So I guess he's a tolerant man as well. We would have plenty of disagreements about certain topics, and he would just give up. He'd go, "You're at it again." He's like, "You don't have to play devil's advocate on everything." And he would just he'd be chuckling when he said it, but rolling his eyes, and because I couldn't. I'm a person that has to always see two sides to a story and give the benefit of the doubt, and it would drive him fucking mad. But yeah, I mean, there's times where, like a story, my car broke down in 3 hours away, and I had to put it in the shop and in the garage and get fixed. But it was a big job. The engine, basically, I never got the car back. That was how bad it was. But he was 8 weeks out from his Arnold debut, so 2017, I want to say. Pretty sure he turned pro in 2016. 2017, he's Arnold. He's 8 weeks out, and he's like, no, I'm not training on my own. I'm coming to get you. So he drove. And for any bodybuilders that know how, especially 8 weeks out from your pro debut, that's the Arnold, routine is everything, right? So he jumps in his car and hauls ass, comes, gets me. We jump in the local gym up there and get after it, and then he drives me all the way home back with him. And then for a couple of weeks, he's picking me up every day to go train until I got a new car sorted. But that's the kind of guy there's a double kind of insight in that. One is he was incredibly generous, incredibly kind and thoughtful to other people. He wasn't anywhere near generous to himself, and I wish he had been. But also, in that respect, is he was never happy to be on his own, and he would ensure that wasn't the case. And I believe that he found a lot of solace from having me able to be with him as much as we were and travel together, and I'm grateful for it, but I'm also saddened by the fact that he wasn't able to be himself. He wasn't able to love himself. Again, that's not something I want to get too deep into right now, but just an incredible guy that had the world at his feet, and he didn't see what we saw in him. I wish he had. I wish he'd seen a fraction of it, but he was well loved, well liked, and he couldn't work that one out. He couldn't understand why you loved him. I remember being sat in his house over Christmas with him just gone, and I think Redcon put a video up on YouTube and it exploded. He had 30-odd thousand views on the YouTube channel, and he honestly looked at me and said, I don't understand how this happens. Why? He was like, why me? It's just crazy. And I looked at him and I didn't really respond. I was just, because he was on his phone and kind of talking to me back and forth. And I looked at him and said, this guy he really doesn't understand why he was in the position he was, why all of you guys seemed to love him and adore him, and he couldn't work it out. He just couldn't connect the dots, and I think that speaks a lot to how humble he was on the inside, how to his detriment almost. Well, he came across as this big personality, larger than life, and sometimes very confident. To you guys, he seemed very confident, and I wish that had been the case, because I believe he would still be with us. But suffice to say, he will always be my best friend, and I will try to do my best by him and his family, his daughter and his son. I'm godfather to his son, and that means the world to me. It really does, that he saw me fit to fulfill that role. And something we joked about, where I said to him, what does that even mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? And he went, I don't know, some you know, like old-fashioned thing, and your godfather, and shit, you don't have to do anything. It's like if I die, but shit, that's not gonna happen. I remember we were in his truck. We were driving to the ceremony. I can remember that. That's I'll do my best by you, buddy. I love you.